So, I'm reviewing Divergent and Insurgent. Pretty much the best books you'll ever read, ever. Seriously. Ever since reading The Hunger Games, I have really wanted to read a book that had the same kind of power and awesomeness, and have not found them. Even like if you go to Chapters, they have tables with big signs that say, if you liked The Hunger Games, and then they have all these books that are supposed to be similar to The Hunger Games, and none of them are. So like I read Incarceron, and I read The Maze Runner, and they were nothing, not even close, like not even comparable to the Hunger Games. Like, I'm sorry, And, what else did I read? I guess those were the only two that I read that were supposed to be comparable. But then somebody told me about Divergent and said that it was comparable to The Hunger Games, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's what they say about all of them, but I decided to read it anyway. And oh my god! It is so good! I think it's better than The Hunger Games. It is not like The Hunger Games at all. It is not in any way similar whatsoever. But it has the same kind of, like, atmosphere, or essence that The Hunger Games has. It's, like, the story itself and the people and the characters are not at all the same. Like, it's just not like this, it's not like the author has copied The Hunger Games. It's just, it has that, like, factor that The Hunger Games had. Like, it's got, like, the same essence. Like, it's, I don't know, it's, yeah. I don't know how else to say it. Okay, so I'll give you a bit of a summary. So the way that people explained it to me when they were telling me about it, it did not make it seem like it was an interesting book at all. I was like, that sounds lame. So I'm going to try and explain it in a way that doesn't make it sound lame. It just says, one choice decides your friends, one choice defines your belief, one choice determines your loyalties forever, one choice can transform you. So what it is it's in the future, we don't know when, but the world or city that this person lives in has been divided into 5 factions, and each faction is just a separate area of the city that each one has their own, like, virtue that they live by, and they live strictly by that, and that is the only way that they live completely 100%. So one of them is about being selfless, so they're just the most selfless people ever. They don't do anything that, like, draws attention to them or is self-indulgent. It's always sacrificing themselves for the greater good of other people, basically, all the time. And then there's one that's, like, smart people, and one for people who never lie, and one for people who are brave, and one for people who are really peaceful. And when you are 16, you get to choose if you want to stay in the faction that you grew up in, or if you want to move to a different one. And you have to take this this weird aptitude test that tells you which one you belong in. And it's either the one you grew up in or one other one. And basically you can choose whichever one you want to live in, but people will only go by the one that the aptitude test told them, or the one that they grew up in, so they can stay with their family or whatever. And it's about this girl who can have more than one faction. And so after you choose which faction you want to live in, you have to go through this big initiation that is centered around their virtue that they value. And so it's about the initiation that the main character goes through. It's pretty much the whole book. It's a really, really long initiation, but it's so good because of the one that she chooses and the things that they have to do and the people that she meets. It's just absolutely crazy and ridiculous, and it's, oh my god, amazing. And the guy in it, the guy's amazing. Seriously, I wish he was real. No, I don't. That would be bad. I have a boyfriend. So let's keep him not real. It's just, she used to go through, like, crazy, ridiculous stuff. And it's just appalling, like, the stuff that they do. I'm like, oh my god, they're making them do this? These people are only 16! And stuff. And I'm just like, oh, I have to read more. And then, so it only took me 3 days to read Divergent, and then Insurgent had just come out when I started reading Divergent, so I had to go buy the next one right away. And I read this one also in 3 days. I could have read it sooner, but, you know, I have to work. And I can't tell you what Insurgent's about if you haven't read Divergent yet, because that will give stuff away from Divergent. But it's amazing. They're so good. Seriously, like 11 stars out of 5. So, I highly suggest you go buy these books. Okay, so the author did a very good job with the character building. I felt the characters were so real. Like, I love it when I read a book and can really connect with the characters. Like, with the Hunger Games, I really connected with the characters in that. And, what other books did I really connect with the characters with? Harlan Coben books, I really connect with his characters as well. I always feel like the main characters are real. Like, after I read Tell No One, I just was in love with Beck. Like, I wanted, like, ugh. I fall in love with fictional characters too easily. But, so she did a very good job with the character building, which I think is one of the most important parts of a book. And, good descriptions, like, good narrative, voice. Like, I just finished reading a series that was basically all dialogue, which was fine, but kind of weird. It was just people talking the whole time almost. There was almost no, like, narrative and description. And this book has a lot of good narrative and description. Just the world that she created is really cool. Like, I don't think I'd be able to come up with something like that. It's a really neat idea, and I think you should read it now. Go read it now, and then leave a comment or a video response telling me, like, stuff that you liked about the book, and we can talk about it, because that's fun.